Hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel, Roam with Rach. I have such a health kick going on right now and I heard trampoline rebounding was really good for you, so that's why I have my little trampoline. I don't really have a place to put it, so that's just where it's gonna be, this lovely background. Hello, what's up? I bet a lot of people are wondering, why haven't I been posting a lot of travel stuff lately? Unfortunately, I'm not a billionaire, so I do have to work. So currently I'm in my working era before I can go travel again. I will be traveling in the new year and I have a lot of fun trips planned, or starting to plan out some fun trips for next year. But right now I'm just working hard to save so I can go on those trips. Yeah, bear with me. I really like experimenting with my content and just kind of like trying out new things. I've always loved making videos. Obviously, the main point of this channel is to inspire people, to get people to live their life to their fullest potential. And that has not changed with any of my content, whether that be through traveling, through looking your best, or through some sort of lifestyle thing, like me jumping on my trampoline. This specific video, I'm going to be talking about my best packing tips. I have a whole packing playlist where I share videos of me packing for different trips that I've been on. I will link it right here. This video is going to be kind of like my summation of my best packing tips so that you can have a great trip and you won't regret what you packed. Or if you're a bad packer, like I used to be, you're gonna be like, wow, thank you, Rachel, for your help. If you've watched any of my packing videos before, you know that I'm a big proprietor of packing cubes, okay? I literally use packing cubes on all of my trips. Packing cubes are such an efficient way to make your clothing very compact so that you can fit more stuff in your bag, but also keep your clothing organized. One way that I keep myself organized when I'm traveling is having different colored packing cubes. So these two are the same size, they're packing cubes from Osprey, and I got them in two different colors. I know my shirts are in one, I know my pants are in one, I know my swimsuits are in one. It just helps when I am traveling to know exactly where everything is. When you're backpacking, obviously you have more minimal clothing, and so this is a little bit easier. You're like, I should know where every single thing is. But even if you're going on a big trip and you're packing a lot of clothes, which I do think you should only travel with a carry-on. That is my hot tidbit of advice, but we'll get to that in a moment. If you don't know where anything is in your bag, you're not going to be apt to use it. You're going to get home from your trip, be clearing out everything and be like, oh, I forgot I had that. And different size packing cubes help for different trips and then different articles of clothing. I find I really like to have my bottoms in something that's a little bit bigger, especially if I'm bringing anything that's denim, because that's a little bit more bulky. So I need something that's a bit of a bigger size to fit those. Okay, now to kind of circle back, I really don't think anyone needs to travel with checked baggage. The only caveats I'll leave in that is if you have like a medical condition and you need to carry a lot of medical equipment with you, or you are moving to a different country. But if that is not the case and you are just traveling just by yourself, I make a lot of solo travel content on my page, I truly think that you just need a carry-on bag. And for me, I really like my 40-liter Eagle Creek Tour travel pack. I'll actually grab it right now to show you. Currently in the process actually of sewing patches onto my bag. I don't really know how I'm going to do it, but it's something that I've wanted to do for a while, and I've been collecting patches of everywhere that I've backpacked specifically. So not every country I've been, only the countries that I've backpacked get their country's flag on the outside of this bag. I don't work with the company, but I really like this bag. It opens kind of like a suitcase, so that way it's easier to access things, which is really nice. But literally, I travel on almost all of my trips with that bag, or I'll do like a really tiny carry-on suitcase if I'm going to a country where I know there's going to be a lot of paved roads. That's another packing tip. When you are going to certain countries, you need to think about the terrain and the ease at which you can carry your luggage. So I was talking to my friends the other day who are going to Europe next summer, and a lot of the European cities that they're going to be doing are cities that have a lot of cobblestone roads. And so for cobblestone, I would not recommend a suitcase that has wheels unless you're able to pick it up with ease, because a lot of the time going over cobblestone roads with your suitcase is just so annoying. Or if you're going somewhere like Portugal that has a lot of hills, you need to think about the terrain. You're not going to want to lug a heavy suitcase or anything crazy like that in that sort of terrain. If you were going to Southeast Asia, I would not recommend bringing a luggage at all either, because sometimes you're walking places that don't have paved roads, right? It's really helpful to think about these things as you're packing, so then when you're on your trip, you're actually enjoying your trip and not being regretful of the big honkin' suitcase that you have to trek around. My next packing tip is for people who wear makeup, but don't bring that much makeup. I find that when I'm traveling, I am like in my most granola version of myself. If you know what that means. When you're traveling, you just want everything to be so effortless and easy. And if you're the kind of person who like doesn't like to wear a lot of makeup in their day-to-day life, or finds it really challenging and kind of annoying to have to do your makeup, like me, don't bring a lot of makeup. Like, there are gonna be the odd nights that you go out. I think on my Central America trip, I wore makeup once in like the 2 months that I was gone. No one cares. I don't know, unless you really enjoy doing your makeup and it's something that brings you a lot of joy. I just always think when I'm traveling, I want to maximize the amount of time I am experiencing another culture. And if it gets me out the door quicker to not have to put on makeup, I'm gonna definitely do that. And if you're the kind of person who can go without wearing makeup, I would recommend either not bringing it or bringing the very most minimal amount. In terms of clothes that I pack, I like to bring very basic pieces that I can kind of mix and match, so that way my clothes can be worn more than once with multiple different things. My neighbors have a baby, so if you hear little baby stomping, that's why. So I just like to have clothes that are really simple, really versatile, that I can mix and match with. And on that note about clothing, do not bring any white clothes, okay? Just don't do it. Unless you're going to Greece and like having a fancy moment. I always say for trips that are 2 weeks and under, that's okay to bring white clothes. But anytime that you're going to be doing laundry in another country, I wouldn't bring any white. My next piece of advice would be to make sure that you're utilizing every single crevice of your bag. What a lot of people do is they kind of have this idea of how they're going to pack their bag, and they put in their packing cubes like in a very rudimentary way, and they're like, this doesn't fit, or oh, it does fit, without thinking outside the box and like rearranging things. Usually when I'm packing for a big backpacking trip, I kind of try out a bunch of different ways and see what fits the best and gives me the most room. And I also just think about utilizing every single crevice that I can. So like, I know in the top of my bag, there's always like a little bit of extra room at the very top. So I think like, what's something that's like this big that I can kind of fit in there? And I do. I also think if I'm bringing a purse or shoes, I'm gonna be stuffing like socks and underwear inside that purse, inside those shoes, right? Utilizing every single piece of real estate in your bag is really important, especially if you're backpacking or traveling with a carry-on, because every little piece counts. Every space matters, you know? I do my packing process very staggered so that I'm not feeling rushed and overwhelmed at the last minute. The first initial step, I kind of grab clothes out of my wardrobe that I think I would like to wear, that I think would be useful to wear for the activities that I'm doing on my trip and for the weather. Make sure you look up the weather, don't just assume. I've talked about this in other videos before, but at least once on every single big backpacking trip that I've gone on, I have like forgotten to look up the weather of like one city. There's always one city where it's like way too cold when I thought it was gonna be hot, for example. Or vice versa, on my most recent trip when I went to Sweden and Denmark, it was like way hotter than I thought it would be for like a Scandinavian springtime moment. So always just look up the weather. After I've taken out all the clothes, I kind of take them, fold them, and then put them on a different surface. So usually it's like my desk. And then I kind of take note of like how many pants I have, how many shirts I have, and then kind of rearrange things from there. Like, oh, I packed way too many shirts. Let me get rid of 2. I didn't pack enough pants. Let me throw in a pair of shorts there, something like that. And I kind of refine. Then when I feel like I've got a good amount of stuff that I need, then I try to refine even more by taking away things. I think when you're traveling, less is always more. The most common complaint I hear from backpackers is that they wish that they packed a smaller bag. So I think this can be applied universally to any traveler. At the end of the day, when you're really enjoying a new culture, a new country, like, you are going to just want the bare bones basics so you can just enjoy and have a good time. I would recommend not overpacking your bag, because that kind of leaves space for if you want to buy something when you're abroad. I really like thrifting when I'm abroad now. It's super fun. It's something that I like to do back home, but it's also something that's extra special when you're in another country. And so I leave some space in my bag so that I can add to the collection. My next piece of advice would be to make sure that you're wearing really versatile shoes. I feel like shoes are something that can really take up like a lot of room in your backpack if you're not careful, because you're like, oh, I need a sandal, and then I need like a cute sandal, and then I need one that's like casual, and then I need some flip-flops, and then I need some shower shoes, and then I need some running shoes, of course, and then I need some heels, and that's a lot. Instead, I try to think of shoes that can be worn like multiple different ways. For example, I always talk about this in my videos, but my Crocs. I literally love my Crocs so much because I think they are the supreme shower shoe. They are lightweight. You can clip them onto your bag, and you can wear them like for fun when you're out doing stuff, just strap them on sport mode, but then you can also shower with them when needed, and they're easy to slide on and they're comfy when they're not in sport mode. I also think something like a little sandal can be something that, like, if you get a comfy one, can be dressed up or dressed down. At the end of the day, when you are backpacking, if you're a backpacker watching this video, you rarely need to look cute. Like, no one cares. So take with that what you may. But if you're watching this video and you're just going on a trip, like maybe a luxury trip or a vacation, just be really mindful of what shoes you're bringing and make sure they're the best of the best and they can be worn multiple different ways. Okay, my last tip, and dare I say the most important, would be to make sure that you have all of your liquids in a separate container already. This makes going through security at the airport a breeze. Just making sure that you have your liquids easily accessible so that you can take them out of your bag to show the security or place them on the conveyor belt wherever you need. My friend actually gave me a gift one year that was essentially like the airport security size bag. So I know that there are like Ziploc bags that are reusable that you can buy, and they're already the size of the airport bag, so you can see like how you can fit things in and, you know, if it's going to work for you. Making sure that your liquids are under 100 milliliters and making sure that they can all fit in that bag, and then you're rocking and rolling. Also, when you're storing things in like your clear bag and you have a bottle that's kind of like this, I think the best way to store them, and I learned this from an airport security guard, they basically said not to put them in the bag like the circular bottom down, but to flip it upside down and put like the flat bottom down, because this way you can actually squeeze and fit way more things in than if you did it this way. So that's a little tip that I learned like along my travels. But when you're packing your little clear bag and you're trying to fit all your liquids in it, make sure that you do it flat part down, and then you can fit way more in the bag. Alright guys, that is everything for this video. Thank you for watching. If you don't know who I am, I actually make a lot of travel content. I have a video talking about 7 essentials to bring on any trip that you go on, so backpacking or not. I have a video where I talked about my favorite travel products that I love to bring with me. I also made a video for women specifically, things that I think women need to bring traveling. So I will link all of those in the description of this video so you can go check them out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up button. That silly little button helps me out so much. And consider subscribing to me. I post videos every single Sunday at 11 a.m. That's everything for this video, and I'll see you next week. Bye guys.